Now, speaking of advisors that specialize in helping people maximize retirement income, let's go to our next guest, Mark Falter. Mark is the owner of Mid-American Wealth Advisory Group in Kansas City, Missouri, has specialized in working with retirees for 20 of his 30 years as a financial advisor. He shares his savings and investment expertise on his weekly radio show, The Retirement Income Doctor, and is an occasional guest on national media outlets like Fox Business and so on. Mark, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Dave, for having me.
And we're talking today, of course, about a topic that's near and dear to your heart and the hearts of many of your loyal clients, and that is Social Security. What do you make of Mitch McConnell's recent comments about the need to address and reform Social Security so that it can be a viable option for tomorrow's retirees, not just today's?
Well, I'll tell you, I honestly was thinking about Mitch McConnell's statements. He wasn't out to make a lot of friends that day that he did that statement. And I just did a Social Security workshop the other night, and one of the people in the audience before the workshop said, I don't consider it an entitlement. And he put a little profanity right before the word entitlement. Mm-hmm. Many people, it's basically a payback of our investment that we put in. The problem with it is if they don't reform it, we are looking at some massive changes in 2034. And so there's things on the horizon right now that are addressing that. They eliminated the file and suspend, but that's gone. And they're even talking about...
By the way, for viewers that don't know, the file and suspend was a fancy way of maximizing benefits where one spouse could file, not take his benefits, and the spouse can get spousal benefits off that person. And then the actual applicant could apply later at age 70 and get maximum benefits. It's good they did away with that, right, Mark? Because that's one of the things that could help make Social Security viable long-term.
Long-term, correct. And they're talking about even potentially doing away with spousal benefits altogether. And that's the thing that I tell a lot of our clients. It's why you want to have an analysis done to see what is the best strategy for you to see if spousal benefits even play into the role.
So what do you see as like the number one biggest mistake that the people who walk through your doors are making with their decision about Social Security benefits?
They typically, if I ever had to say one thing, many people are so fearful that Social Security is going to go bankrupt. They've heard for so many years that, the government's dipping their hands in it. They're taking all the money out, that they want to go out and collect early and get while the getting is good. Well, there's several issues with that. Number one, you got to make sure that your income's not too high. And number two, I think you're kind of right now running from a ghost. There's still a surplus in the OASDI trust fund, the trust fund that establishes the Social Security checks.
Yeah, so I have the fear that it's going to go away. They basically just take it early, saying if I get signed on now, they won't stop it. Mark, stay with us for another block, please. We really love having you here. And you stay with us, too. We have a lot more from Mark Falter here on The Income Generation. We'll be right back. And we're back with more from Mark Falter here on The Income Generation, a good friend of The Income Generation as well as one of my closest friends in the entire world, who Social Security just became a more important topic for you as you got 1 year older this past week, correct?
Oh yeah, thank you very much for reminding me of that.
So the reality is that it's an interesting twist you put on this. I know people take Social Security early, but I never realized that a lot of people are taking it early because they're afraid it's going to go away. So what do you tell those people?
I tell them not to run from a ghost that's not coming, because there's no, let's put it this way, there is no president that wants to see Social Security go down on their watch. And also, it's tied at the hip with disability payments. And imagine the world without disability payments. So the point is, get the best analysis run the right strategy, and look at maybe waiting, definitely at least until retirement age.
Now here's one thing that's really interesting. I have to ask you, people understand they love Social Security because it gives guaranteed income, they don't have to worry about it and so on. But yet, is it my imagination, or do people have a tough time making that same paradigm shift with their investments as they approach retirement, from a growth mindset to an income mindset? Or is it just on the East Coast we have that problem?
No, it's universal, I think, Dave. I think that what happens is people get what I like to refer to as 401k brain. They get so used to doing one thing, and unfortunately, the financial services industry teaches them to stay with that buy and hold strategy. The problem with that is when you start taking money out, you don't want to be selling shares, and it's impossible to do in a buy and hold strategy to not sell shares. You want to be creating income and dividends.
So how do you get people to make this paradigm shift? They love their Social Security, but yet they also love their stock mutual funds. Even though they took a shellacking in 2008, 2009, they still love it. What's the best words of wisdom for our income generation members, our loyal viewers, about how to mentally make that paradigm shift as they approach retirement?
I ask them, I really drill down and I ask them, why do you want to make that account bigger? And they say more security. And then I ask them, once I drill down, they finally get the point. I want to take income out of it. I need this thing to support me for the rest of my life. And the problem with that is we don't know what the market's going to do. And without knowing that, I don't know how long that account's going to last if you're in the market. Or if you're getting interest in dividends and only keeping your income within that range, it can last indefinitely.
And you viewers at home, think about this while I ask Mark. Mark, is your number one goal of most of your clients to leave a huge legacy for their family, yes or no?
Honestly, most of our clients know.
Okay. Is it to go out and buy a yacht or a Rolls Royce, yes or no?
Oh, no, not at all. No.
It's for what? It's to generate more what?
Income. More income.
More income, that's right. Mark, I'm sorry we're out of time. It's been great having you once again. And you stay with us too. We'll be right back here on the Income Generation. Stay with us.